morning, Northbrook. Good morning, Northbrook Junior High. If you are not moved by that video, you are not deserving. I mean, isn't that powerful? Wasn't that wonderful? No matter who sits at the office in the big White House, left, right, center, doesn't matter. We serve at his discretion. It's an honor, it's a privilege. Special thanks to NBJ for School District 28 for always welcoming us with open arms. You guys always receive us so well, so thank you. This one's for you. I'm going to turn it over to Post Commander Tom. Thanks for being with us.
First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Hewitt and Dr. Meek for allowing us to once again participate at Northbrook Junior High. We truly appreciate this recognition. And I also I will be recognizing our members and all veterans here today, but I want to make sure there's a special recognition for our first responders over here against the wall. Thank you for protecting us every day. Well, good morning, and welcome to the centennial celebration of the American Legion, founded 100 years ago this year in Paris, France. Today we honor all veterans that have served our country. At this new moment, I promise you, you are in the presence of real American heroes. All that have served have raised their hand, and they have promised to protect our Constitution, our home, our country, and protect it with their lives if necessary. Many, many, many have paid the ultimate price to protect our freedom. As I mentioned, the American Legion is 100 years old this year, but many ask, who are the Legionnaires? Well, we are men and women that have served our country in one of the 5 branches of the military: Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard. Well, you might say, okay, but who are you? The simple answer is, we are you. 2 of our members are graduates from Leung North and Northbrook Junior High in Chipotle. We might be your grandfather or grandmother, your mom or dad, your aunt or uncle, your brother or sister, or maybe a cousin. We might be your next door neighbor or family friend, your teacher, your band director, your choir director, maybe a school administrator, a doctor or a nurse. Maybe the airline pilot that flew your family to your last vacation. Maybe you've seen us at Sunset Foods, or delivering your mail. Maybe you know us from your house of worship. We might be your coach or scout leader. Maybe you or your parents bought the car you drive from one of us, or used our accounting knowledge to help keep their business profitable. We might be the lawyer that helped a member of your family, or the banker that arranged the mortgage on your home. The point is, we are all around you. We are you. Later in this program, we will ask all veterans to stand and be recognized, and we will introduce you to the members, and later we will introduce you to the members of Northbrook's American Legion Post 791, 2 of whom I mentioned are Northbrook GEN graduates. We are honored to have several individuals that are currently serving in our armed forces with us today, and I ask them to stand so we may show our appreciation. Maybe some of you will be up here. Some of you in this gymnasium will be up here with us after you have decided to serve your country. I certainly hope so. On our program, I would like to introduce Terry Stone for the Star Spangled Banner. And I will ask our village president, Sandy Leung, to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm Kate Nelson. I'm in 6th grade and I'm in concert band. I'm Delaney Meek. I'm in 7th grade and I'm in concert choir.
I'm Tiana Sullivan. I'm in 8th grade and I'm from Chamber Orchestra.
Veterans Day. On Veterans Day, we honor all who answered to the service call, fought for freedom. Soldiers young and soldiers old fought for freedom, brave and bold. Some have lived while others died, and all of them deserve our pride. We're proud of all the soldiers who have taken up red, white, and blue.
They fought for us and all our rights. They fought for many days and nights, and though we may not know each, we thank all veterans just the same.
I would like to introduce you to our Senior Vice Commander, Jim Ossie, and head host, Angels, and as they perform the fallen soldier ceremony.
As you enter the room today, you may have noticed a small table in a place of honor. It has great significance and will be set for one. Let me explain. When Abraham Lincoln spoke at the cemetery in Gettysburg after that horrible battle fought in the summer of 1863, he placed our nation's values firmly in the context of that wider canvas of heroism without righteousness and of valor without vilification. He praised those who had fallen and called upon the living to fulfill the ideals of those who had made the ultimate sacrifice at that place. June 5th, 1944. General Dwight D. Eisenhower sent the following letter with this message to soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Forces. You are about to embark upon a great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. June 6, 1944, after the troops had landed on Omaha and Utah Beach in Normandy, France, the troops of the 793rd Military Police Battalion received this letter as they prepared to liberate Europe. To the members of the United States Army Expeditionary Forces, you are a soldier of the United States Army. You have embarked for distant places where the war is being fought. Upon the outcome depends the freedom of your lives, the freedom of those lives of those you love, your fellow citizens, and your people. Never were the enemies of freedom more tyrannical, more arrogant, or more brutal. Yours is a God-fearing, proud, courageous people, which throughout history has put its freedom under God before all other purposes. We who stay at home have our duties to perform, duties owed in many parts to you. You will be supported by the whole force and power of this nation. The victory you win will be a victory of all the people, common to them all. You bear with you the hope, the confidence, the gratitude, and the prayers of your family, your fellow citizens, and your president, signed Franklin D. Roosevelt. As America was conceived in liberty, Americans have fought and died for those cherished values linking us to a transcendent heritage. From battlefields on your own continent to foreign shores where thousands gave their lives to defeat tyranny and liberate nations, Americans have answered the call to serve. In the present day, in this mission to defeat global terror, the traditions of service and sacrifice persist. Our citizens continue to dedicate their lives to defend this grand and timeless idea that is America. In this honorable tradition, this table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our profession of arms missing from our midst. They are our fallen comrades. Because they are unable to be with us today, we remember them and their dedication to this country. This table set for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of one soldier against his enemies. Remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember. The single red rose, symbolizing remembrance, displayed in a vase, reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep their memories alive, lest we forget. Remember. The red ribbon, tied so prominently on the vase, is the reminder of the blood shed to protect the liberty so loved by our country. Remember. The candle, the candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of their unconquerable spirit. Remember. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate. Is a reminder of their bitter fate. Remember. There is salt. The salt upon the bread plate is a reminder of their bitter fate. Remember. The glass. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us this day. Remember. The chair. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember. Remember. All of you who served with them and called them comrades, for it is with this remembrance that we pay homage to their bravery, their selflessness, and their enduring character, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember.
At this time, I would like all the members of American Legion Post 791 and our guests to stand. Last year at this ceremony, we recognized the founding members of the American Legion. There were 62 members, 2 residents of Northfield Township died during World War I. We recognize those founding members. Today, we recognize our existing members.
Lieutenant Colonel James Ossie, United States Army, 31 years.
Brigadier General Thomas Kepler, United States Air Force Reserve, 33 years of service, Shaboni Junior High School.
John Goldcamp, United States Army, Sergeant.
Captain Raymond, Leung, currently Navy Commanding Officer up there at Naval Station Great Lakes, 25 years in the Navy.
Matt Shea, Lieutenant Colonel, 20 years, United States Marine Corps, graduate, Northbrook Junior High, 1972.
Ron Bernard, United Second Class Petty Officer, United States Coast Guard, 6.5 years, Reserve.
Captain Matthew Leck, United States Army, currently serving 12 years in.
Nick Helps, Petty Officer, U.S. Navy.
Brian Bruce, Adjutant to the Sons of the American Legion. The Sons do not serve, but we serve our veterans.
Jason Piper, I'm the SAL Commander for the post. 20-some years here, leading all the parades in this town. All you guys, you are eligible to join us in the squadron, the Sons of the American Legion. As long as your father, grandfathers, whether you're adopted or not, was a veteran that served. Thank you.
Beach Star Slater.
69, 1969, 1976, Air Force, was a captain, and spent time in war.
Alan Avery, Specialist, U.S. Army.
Alex Rowe, Captain, U.S. Army, Woodhouse and Shaboni.
Major General Clifton Capp, former faculty member of Northbrook North and assistant principal of New York South.
Captain John Quinless, United States Army.
Lieutenant Colonel Dave Rizzuto, United States Air Force Reserve, 26 years.
Ron Schwenkler, Vietnam veteran, October 66 to 1967, 283 combat sorties. Lieutenant Colonel, United States Marine Corps. Hoorah!
Tom Mahoney, Sergeant, U.S. Army. Thank you, sir. And other veterans sitting in the room, please stand at this point so you can be recognized. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your service. More to my point, we are you. We are all around you. At this point, I would like to introduce Jenny Lee Stewart, conductor of the Northbrook Junior High Philharmonic Orchestra and the Northbrook Junior High Chamber Orchestra, to play Honor and Glory.
What a wonderful rendition. Thank you, Orchestra. That's wonderful. It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce Captain Raymond. Captain Leung is the commander of the Great Lakes Naval Training Center, just up the road. He came down in treacherous weather today to be with us. He says his kids are here, his wife is here, met them. It's a day off, you do not. But so it goes. He wound us earlier in the spring by talking to the post, telling us his story. So without further ado, we'd like to introduce our honored guest speaker, Captain Raymond.
Good morning. So my understanding is that as long as I'm talking, you don't have to go back to class, isn't it? All right, so now I got your attention. All right, so I'm going to go over a speech real quick, and then I'm going to come off the podium. I'm going to walk around and tell you my story. Good? All right. Thank you for inviting me here to speak here today. I'm proud to represent the Navy in the Midwest. Today, we honor every American who has stepped forward to serve. There are more than 20 million veterans alive today, believe it or not. And there are more than 2 million Americans serving in uniform at this very moment across this country and around the clock, in every time zone on Earth, and in every domain in the air, ashore, afloat, in cyberspace, all in service to this great nation. The men and women of today's force and the force of the future will inherit an amazing legacy. Since the nation's founding, each of our sailors, Marines, soldiers, airmen, Coast Guardmen, and veterans, men and women, active, guard, and reserve, has done one of the noblest things a person can do with their life, which is to help defend our country and make a better world for our children, including those who are sitting in this room today. Together we won our independence in the Revolutionary War. They helped bring us back together in the Civil War. They fought in World War I, whose end we mark today, and later won the Second World War. They wanted to serve with distinction all over the globe, in the freezing peninsula of Korea, in the jungles of Vietnam, and in the desert sands of Kuwait, just to name a few. Since September 11, 2001, some 5 million Americans have joined our military to serve in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and elsewhere. And over 630,000 of them were trained right here in Illinois at Naval Station Great Lakes, which is 10 miles up the road, which is I'm the commander of that base. Naval Station Great Lakes is home to the Navy's only boot camp and 40% of the technical training that immediately follows boot camp just north of here. This year, 44,000, I repeat, 44,000 civilians will become sailors at Great Lakes, manning the fleet around the world. While some of those service members continue to remain on active duty today, many others have chosen to leave the armed forces. As a leader, that's not always easy for me. I hate to see those good people leave the Navy and also the other branches of service, but at the same time, here's how I cheer myself up and remember that as a good thing. Because when they transition to a good job, they start their own business, work in public service, or volunteer in the community, they show future generations that the military can be more than a good place to be. It is also a good place to be from. That perspective has great value as we recruit the replacements. I'm so proud here today that our employers recognize the outstanding contributors our veterans are. Our veterans are all around us, as we saw earlier for those who stood up and those who served us before. The person you pass as you walk down the street might not be wearing our nation's uniform today, but a year or a decade or a generation ago, they might have been that fellow citizen who was willing to lay down his or her life for strangers like us. When the world makes you bitter, whenever you doubt that bravery, decency, and self-sacrifice is possible, stop and look to a veteran. You don't always go around telling the stories of the heroism, so it is up to us to ask and to listen, to tell those stories for them, and to live those values for which they were prepared to give their lives. Today on Veterans Day, We honor those who honor our country with its highest form of service. You who once wore the uniform of our Navy, Marines, Army, Air Force, or Coast Guard, we owe you our thanks. We owe you our respect. We owe you our freedom. So today, we come together to express our profound gratitude for the sacrifices and contributions you and your family made on the battlefield, at sea, in the air, at home especially when you're away, and at outposts around the world. Your sacrifices will never be forgotten. America's gratitude to our veterans is grounded in something greater than what you did on duty. It is also an appreciation of the examples that you continue to set out in your service and your example as citizens. When you took off your uniform and put back on the cloth of everyday life in America, you became our business partners, our bosses, our teachers who were among us, our coaches, our first responders who are sitting on the fringe, standing over there protecting us right now as we speak, our city council members, community leaders, and role models. You all continue to serve the country we love with the same sense of duty and honor. I'm honored to have served with such men and women. I'm proud to have called so many of you shipmate and also friend. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you. And thank you for being there for me when I needed you. And thank you for being there for the country that I love. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit. You guys ready? It's going to get dangerous. My public affairs officer standing over there. You never know what I'm going to talk about when I kind of step away from the script and start speaking from the heart. So again, my name is Captain Leung. I am the commanding officer of Naval Station Great Lakes, which is about 10 miles north of here. Is a Navy base that I'm responsible for that has about 1,600 acres, 25,000 civilians working and living there on base. And the housing just off base, housing the Fort Sheridan, and housing down at Glenview, and also all the Naval Operations Support Center, which is the reserve center that we have within 5 states. So I have a lot of responsibility. But guess what? I'm living the American dream every single day. So I'm going to tell you my little story that I've started off. For those of you who don't know, I was born in a country called Hong Kong, which is is on the news almost every day. Right? I was born there, and then I grew up there, and I went through middle school just like you all in a different country. And I came to the States back in 1987 with the right age of 15, and then I came to immigrate over to Phoenix, Arizona, where my uncle lived. I remember when I was walking through immigration over in Los Angeles when I flew in. We flew from Hong Kong to Tokyo, and landed over in Tokyo in Narita for maybe a couple hours, and I got on a plane from Hong Kong to LA. And then when I went through immigration at the time, I went through the U.S. immigration. I saw the picture of Ronald Reagan back in 1987. I'm like, I made it! Yes! So I came here and 15 years old, and I went to school in Phoenix. Started off as a sophomore, and then finished high school back in 1990, and I went to college down at the University of Arizona as a Wildcat. So, yeah. I was on a Wildcat for about 5 years, graduated with an aerospace engineering degree, and immediately I wanted to join the military. So I went to a recruiter and then asked them what I can do, and they're like, well, you can be a nuclear ship driver, and then you join the Navy. I'm like, I'm not sure about that. It turns out that I was not smart enough to be a nuclear guy, and then I ended up being an aviator. So. You're not smart enough to touch a nuclear reactor, but I'll keep an airplane flying. Okay, sure, no problem. So I did that. I graduated back in 1995, went to Officer Candidate School down in Pensacola. For those of you who watch the movie Officer and Gentleman, it's almost a little bit like that. It's a mix between Officer and Gentleman and then Full Metal Jacket, when you got a Marine Corps that you instructed yelling at you every day for about 13 weeks. Graduated from Officer Candidate School, went through flight school. Down in Pensacola, went through Northbrook, and then ended up getting my selection. I flew the E-2C Hawkeye, the one with the big old frisbee on top that flies off carriers. So I started doing that, and I've been doing that for about 20 some odd years now, and just recently got screened to be a base commander. So it's like I don't know, flying an airplane, all of a sudden becoming mayor of a town. That's exactly what happened. But I truly love it. The opportunity for me to be able to come out and talk to a crowd like you all and kind of tell you my story is absolutely amazing. So what I'm trying to tell you all is, I know the audience over here is a little younger, and my son is over here. He's at Vernon Hill High School for whatever reason. He's actually in middle school, but he didn't have to go to school today. So I brought him over along with my third grader and then my wife. My story is this. For those of you growing up not thinking that you're going to be somebody, look at me standing right in front of you, all right? And you're like, okay, or whatever. This guy's still talking. I guess I'm going to let him keep talking because I don't have to go back to class. But here's the deal. I was an undisciplined kid, right? Never listened to anybody, especially my parents. I did what I wanted to do, and then I realized that that's not really a good way to go through life. And I kind of have to support myself and buy the video games that I want, and be able to go out and support myself and maybe in the future my family. So I decided that I'm going to turn myself into something and be somebody. I'm a very not smart kid, not very undisciplined, and not listening to anybody, to where I'm standing in front of you, still serving in the Navy, by the way, for about 25 years, flying airplanes off of aircraft carriers and coming back and landing, going to different ports. You can do it too. For those of you sitting in the audience, 2 ingredients you gotta understand: be on time and do what you're told. It's very simple. It's not that difficult, right? Be on time, right? Because if in the military, if you're not on time, your target kind of runs away from you, and you have to do it again. And do what you're told. That's how we do it in the military. Is we have to follow orders, because otherwise, that's not really how military works. So be on time, do what you're told. It's that simple. It's not that difficult. And one last thing I have was, for me, other than marrying my wife and having my both kids over here with me, the coolest thing I've ever done is this, and I'm going to leave the stage. I was on board the USS Carl Vinson on deployment back in 2001. We flew out of port in Singapore, Labor Day. I remember pulling in port in Singapore for Labor Day. And we flew out of Labor Day from Singapore, and we started heading towards the Persian Gulf. At the time, we were still doing the patrolling the no-fly zone. So we're like, okay, we're going to go into Persian Gulf, and then we're going to fly and patrol the no-fly zone. And then I remember off the coast of Mumbai, and we're trying to swing in the southern tip of India. And then in the afternoon, at about 3:45 in the afternoon, local time, on board the ship, I watched the first airplane flew into the World Trade Center. And then I was supposed to go fly. So when you go flying carrier, there's a book with all the maintenance issues on the airplane. And I'm standing over in maintenance control, and I'm reading over all the books before I go to the airplane and go flying. It gives you all the issues with the airplane and what they fixed and whatnot, and you ask a question, make sure you have all the fuel before you go. And as I was standing over there reading the book, the second airplane flew into the World Trade Center, and I was on board the USS Carl Vinson, September 11, 2001. We didn't know what to do at the time, so we stopped flying. We stuck around in the local area for about a month. We never got any gas. We didn't get replenished. So whatever we had on the ship at the time, we ate. So it got down to about October time frame, we were like on spaghetti and ketchup. And then lettuce, there started to turn a little bit brown, we could still eat it. So whatever we had at the time. And then not until 11th of October, 2001, that we got replenished. And we flew the first mission in Afghanistan. It was nighttime, I remember it, 11 October 2001. About 11 o'clock, I got into my airplane. We started the airplane. We taxied the airplane to Catapult 1, about to get shot off the catapult, right? Late at night, really, really dark, and there was bright flashes coming off both sides of the carrier. And those are the cruisers launching the Tomahawks. So 11 o'clock at night, a cruiser can launch at most about 90 Tomahawks if they are fully loaded, At that time, I don't think they had 90, they had maybe about 80, so one cruiser on one side, a destroyer on the other side, over 130 Tomahawks missile. It's like a fireworks. So I'm sitting on top of the aircraft carrier, like a taxi up the catapult, and then we waited after about over 100 Tomahawks got shot off, and then I taxied up to the catapult of the aircraft carrier, 0 miles per hour to about 150 miles per hour, about 2.5 seconds. Off I went into the dark. And we flew in past Pakistan, and then flew into Afghanistan and dropped our bombs for the first night to get air superiority, to take out all the actually surface-to-air missiles that they had, and also the capability that they had for us to be able to get us. So that was my story. Very cool, coming off the aircraft carrier at night into the darkness for first mission in Afghanistan for Operation Enduring Freedom, which we named later on, 11 October 2001. Why did I tell that story? It almost like superhero-like. I'm no superhero, I'm just a normal dude standing over here between you and your lunch, right? And then preventing you to go back to class. But the two ingredients that I talked about earlier, everybody can achieve it. What was it? Anybody remember? Be on time. Listen and do what you're told. There you go. And you too can be a superhero like me, fly off aircraft carrier into darkness, and then take out the enemy as needed at the time. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Captain. We are very honored that you are here with us today. Thank you for that address. Moving the program along, we would now like to have the Northbrook Junior High Concert Choir, Northbrook Junior High Philharmonic Orchestra, and Northbrook Junior High Chamber Orchestra, under the direction of Debbie Peterson, perform the Armed Forces Tribute.
Our next piece is a medley of the service songs from the 5 branches of our armed forces. There is a long tradition when a group performs this type of piece that veterans and active service members are invited to stand to be recognized by the audience when their branch's song is played. If time or circumstances make it difficult for you to stand, please feel free to wave your hand to let us know you're here. For today's performance, we also invite audience members to stand if they wish to honor a family member or know someone that has served in a particular branch of our military.
That was spectacular. Thank you very much. You are an incredibly talented group. Thank you for being here today. It was an outstanding performance. We get another round of applause, please. As we draw to the conclusion of our ceremony today, I would like to ask Ron Bernardi to come forward with the closing prayer.
Thank you, Tom. It's an honor to be here today. With the closing prayers of the court. Okay. Lord God, bless and protect our nation. We remember to thank you for all those who have sacrificed their lives so we can have the freedom that we enjoy today. Watch over and protect our active duty servicemen members, deployed or at home. Grant them your peace that passes all understanding, and give them boldness in the face of danger. Be merciful to our wounded veterans and bring healing to their body and mind. And lastly, thank you for Northbrook Junior High students and teachers, Larry Leung, for your hospitality in serving in honors, honoring all us veterans and veterans throughout the world today. And hospitality for sure. I mean, I walked in and they opened the door for me. They welcomed me. They said, "Could I take your jacket?" I said, "Could you shine my shoes?" I said, we'll do that next year. But thank you, students. It's just a pleasure to see young people, you know, just listening and just do what you say and be all right. And so, last, I just want to say, God bless America. Amen.
Close out our sermon letters business. Of course, as Ron said, so happy. Thanks to NBJH. Listen, there is one guy, literally one guy who makes this happen. We come to him about 6 months out, and we approached him last year and graciously welcomed us. Greg Scapula. It's just a wonderful thing. So Greg, wherever you are, thank you for what you do for us. We really appreciate it. Okay, 2 minutes from Captain Leung. What are they? Number 1, be on time. Do not be late. Number 2, we're going to form now for the right side salute and taps. You want to also introduce Dr. Meek. Where's he? Is he around? There he is. Here he is. Please, please.
Thank you again, students and staff, for being such a great audience. Thank you to the American Legion for allowing us to host anytime we are able to pay tribute to our nation's veterans. It certainly is an honor and privilege. To our visiting guests, thank you for coming and being part of this ceremony. We are going to allow you to dismiss first. We will keep our students set for just a couple of minutes in the bleachers, and I know you guys want to hold the ceremony out at the flagpole. So to our visiting guests, I'll dismiss you at this point. Thank you again for coming.